Alright, check this out, man. I got a review of Fire and Blood that's gonna fry your brain like a dragon just blew flames right in your face. Let me tell you straight up, this ain't your regular adventure book where the hero wins and everybody's happy. Nah, forget that shit. This is a mess of backstabbing bullshit and blood splattered everywhere, with a couple of loose dragons to make sure everybody gets torched. So if you're ready, let's dive in. George R.R. Martin, the crazy dude who thinks he's Westeros chronicler. George R.R. Martin, that bearded fat guy who makes you suffer more than your ex with all his twists and turns, decided to get his shit together and said, "You know what? I'm gonna tell you the story of the Targaryens, those crazy bastards who think they can handle dragons like they're bicycles." And that's how Fire and Blood was born, which is basically a spin-off of the main saga. But here we don't got Jon Snow or Daenerys strolling around Westeros. Nah, man. Here they throw you a history manual of the Targaryens that starts with Aegon the Conqueror and ends in an epic clusterfuck called the Dance of the Dragons. Aegon the Conqueror, the first Targaryen who kicked everyone's ass. The book kicks off with Aegon the Conqueror, the first Targaryen who said, "You know what? I'm gonna own all of Westeros." And the dude did it, man. With 3 dragons and a pair of balls, he wiped out anyone who stood in his way and founded the Targaryen dynasty. It's like a manual to show you that when you got dragons, nobody can stop you. This Aegon wasn't playing around, man. He conquered everything, crowned himself king of the 7 kingdoms, and left everyone shaking in fear. But don't think everything was all sunshine and rainbows. After Aegon, the Targaryens started breeding like rabbits, and with each generation came more bullshit. 'Cause if there's one thing these blondies with purple eyes love, it's fighting each other. The Targaryen dynasty, a family more toxic than your school's WhatsApp group. This is where the book gets really juicy. 'Cause if you thought the Starks or the Lannisters were a problematic family, it's 'cause you didn't know the Targaryens. These guys are crazier than a goat. Between incest, betrayal, and fighting over the throne, it's a miracle they didn't fuck up the entire kingdom faster. And what about the dragons? Those nightmare beasts don't do anything but make things worse. One day, you're chilling in your castle, and the next day you've got a dragon burning everything down because some Targaryen woke up wanting to stir shit up. The Dance of the Dragons, when the family goes beyond, fucked up. The Dance of the Dragons is the book's climax, and dude, it's a slaughterhouse. It's a civil war between the Targaryens for the throne, and it's a shit show you won't believe. Dragons beating the crap out of each other in the air, castles blowing up, kings and queens dropping like flies. It's such a big mess that it makes Argentine politics look like child's play. Nobody survives this story, and the worst part is, after all that chaos, the Targaryens are left fucked up, and the dragons are nearly extinct. If this ain't an example of greed breaking the bank, I don't know what is. The characters, more names than your ex's friend list. I'm telling you straight, reading Fire and Blood is like taking an intensive genealogy course. There are so many names and characters, your head's gonna explode. And the worst part is, a lot of them have the same or similar names. But hey, that's part of the charm, right? 'Cause the more complicated it gets, the deeper you get into the story, trying to figure out who's who and why the hell they're killing each other. From the big kings like Aegon I to the losers who don't last 2 pages, every character has their place in this bloody tragicomedy. The narrative, Westeros history with a soap opera twist. Martin's style in this book is different from Game of Thrones. Here, there ain't no dialogues or chapters focused on specific characters. It's like reading a history book, but written by a guy who clearly enjoys watching the characters tear each other apart. Don't get me wrong, it's not badly written, not at all. But if you're expecting the traditional narrative style, you're in for a surprise. It's denser, heavier, but at the same time, it's impossible to stop reading. It's like a soap opera you watch even though you know it's trash, but here it's so well done you can't look away. Conclusion, a feast for Westeros fans. In short, Fire and Blood is a feast for any Westeros fan. If you like complicated stories full of betrayal, death, and a bit of incest, this book is for you. It's not an easy read, I'm telling you, because it's dense and throws information at you like crazy. But if you can handle it, you'll find an epic story where blood and fire are the order of the day. It's a journey that shows you the rise and fall of one of the most powerful and messed up families in Westeros. But don't expect to get attached to anyone, because in Martin's world, everyone's got an expiration date, and it's usually sooner than you think. So if you want to know how the chaos in House Targaryen goes down, grab Fire and Blood. Just make sure to have a few drinks while you read, because you're going to be cussing out these crazies non-stop. So yeah, go ahead, grab the book and dive into the madness, because dragons, blood, and betrayal ain't going to be in short supply. Stop messing around on TikTok and get the book at planetalibro.com.